Okay, so we want to start electronic design tool automation using Cadence Virtuoso. Now, this Cadence Virtuoso is a software that is used to design circuits, analog circuits. So, and we want to start off. So, the first thing is that you need to be connected to the VPN of your school if you're not on campus, and that's where you'll be able to access the software because it is connected to the school server. So you need to have your VPN connected. Like it is here, I've connected to my VPN to the VPN of my university, and that's why I'll be able to launch it. Then the next thing you want to make sure you have installed and launched is this particular Xming. So you need to double click it, and once you double click it, you come back here to see the icon here to make sure it is active, it is activated. So now the third software you need to launch is you need to go to your university um university app, and there is particular software called cloud paging. This particular software, so you can either launch it from your university website, or you install it on your desktop and launch it. So let's say you want to launch this particular this is from my university, so you launch it from here. So once you launch it, then it will come up, then you have it here, then you click on launch. So now that you have it here, now go to SSH and click on this X11. So this X11 you need to enable it, so it is from this you'll be able to access the software. So you now go back to session at the top, then you click on this particular guy here, then so on it is, then you click on load. Once you load it, it will appear in these two sections, and once it appears, click on save, you click on open. Then at this point you type your username to be able to access it. Now if you want to enter your password, this cursor is not going to move, but just type it in and it will be captured. But don't think because the cursor is not moving that you are not seeing anything. It has actually you have actually entered the password. You just need to type and click enter. At this point you just need to type virtuoso space and an ampersand. So once you've done that, then this is going to come up. So the Cadence software is going to come up. So as it comes up, this is just telling you, it's just an overview. You can close this. Then this is the major virtuoso software that we need to look at. Now at this point you want to create a new library. So you go to file, you go to new, you go to library. So once you go to library, you need to give a library name, that is a folder in which all your work will be saved. So just give it a name. So you can just give it my simulation folder, my sim folder. So just click on apply. Then also you should make sure that this particular this one is selected, do not need process information. So you just make sure that one is selected, then you click on OK. So once you click that, it has been created. Just click on close. At that point, to confirm if what you have done, what you have created is saved, just go to file. To confirm it, just go to file and click on open. Click on open, or you just go to library, rather just go to tools, go to library manager, inside the library manager, you will see that my simulation folder, that particular folder you just created, as is now there. So now that you have it there, so you go to file, you go to new, you go to cell view. So cell view, you want to create your schematic inside that folder. You can see that the library is there. The library is my simulation folder. Now you give the schematic a name. That is the schematic, that's the board, the circuit board in which you want to put your circuits for simulation. So let's say my first schematic, my first schematic. So just give it just any name that you like. So just make sure there is no space between them. So just click on OK, and this is to ensure that license Virtuoso, so this is not available to run. Would you like to try checking out the licenses? Of course, you say yes. So you want to make sure the license is available for what you're doing. So because without the license, it will not run. So now that you have the board, this is the board in which you place your components. Now this board, you want to put your components there. So what are the things you need to do at this point? First is that this particular launch, this is where you'll be able to launch whatever you have here, whatever components you want to, whatever circuit you have created and you want to launch. So how do we put components here? That's the first thing. So the first thing to do is just to type I. That's a shortcut, or you just use this create button. Either you come to create, then you see the instance I, you can see I is there. So this is the shortcut, that's the I that you see there. So instead of going back and forth to create, if you want to put a component, you can just type I and it will instantly come up. Then once this pane displays, you click on browse. Then this will take you to the library again, because it is inside this library you have all the components. So there are two major libraries here that contain the components that we need for this simulation. So one of them is this analog library. That's the analog library. So it contains most of the components that we'll be needing to be able to do this. And also this GPDK 180, it also contains some of the components, all the components that we also need. So most of the passive components that we'll be needing, we'll find them in analog library. So like if we need a resistor, just type RES here. So once that's a resistor, then you click on symbol. Now you've clicked on this, you click on symbol, same as frozen. If it is frozen, it means there is a disconnection in the internet connection. So that's why. So we need to restart again. So it means there is a connection problem, that from the VPN or from the internet that you have. So once you have something like that, you just need to go back and launch again. Just go back and launch. So you need to go back and do this process again. So you need to do it again. So go back to session. You need to load this again. So you need to load it again. Put your username. So just be patient with this, because from time to time you will encounter this while you're doing this. So you just need to be patient with it. You just need to be patient. Okay, I think there's a mistake with my username, so I need to go back. Just relaunch again. Just launch again. There's an issue with my I didn't type this. It's supposed to be 000. I typed 00. So that's the issue I had with the one. So I had to go back again. So you need to do this. You do this virtually all the time. So be 000. So that's the issue I had with that. So you type your password, then it comes up. You type virtuoso space, and I need to be launched. So once it comes off, then you can go back to creating what you have earlier. So the next thing you want to do is go to tools. Since you have created, you just go to library manager straight. So you go to your my simulation folder, you have it there, the schematic is there. Just click on enter, and the schematic, click on yes, enter, and the schematic will come up again. So the schematic you created earlier will come up again. So since you have created it, I don't need to recreate it. Now the next thing you want to do is to make sure that you put your components here. So to put components here, I told you just go to create, go to instance, then go to browse. In the browse you have different components. So you go to the analog library, which is one of the libraries in which you have the components. So you type res for resistor. So for resistor, so just click on this symbol. As you click on this symbol, then the resistor will show up. So if you need to duplicate the resistors, you just need to be clicking. So if you need probably like 3 or 4 resistors, just click until you are done within the number of resistors. When you are done, just click on escape. That is the top left button on your keyboard. That's the escape. Once you click on it, then you go out of that. So that means you go out of that selection. Then if you now need another component again, just click on I. We told you the shortcut for getting components is that I, the instance. So just click on browse again. Then let's say we need an nmos. So normally nmos is inside this particular library. So you can go nmos, just type it there, nmos, type it here. Then you see nmos will come out. I click on the symbol. If you make sure it's on symbol, then the nmos will come out. So you click on this. So if you need 2 or 3 of it, so if it's only one, just click on escape if you want to go out of it. So I again to go back and pick another symbol, another component. So you go back to analog library. Let's say we need the ground. Just go to the analog library, then go to ground, GND. You want to pick the ground, make sure it is appearing as symbol. So that's that. So let's say we need so you click on escape to go out of it, click on I again. So I, you go to browse. So we need VDC and VDC. We need VDC, so it's here. So click on escape, click on I again. Let's say we need VDD, so it also appears there. So just put all the components you need, just put them there, and by the time you're done, you let's say we want to set up this with all these that we have here. Then we click on escape to go out of this. Now we want to arrange this particular component. Just click on any of the components, put it in its position. Let's say we want to have this, we want to have a resistor here, we want to have this thing, a DC source here. Then we want to have the ground here. We want to have DC and DC. Okay, let's say we don't need this one. You can highlight them and click on backspace to delete them if you don't need them. So the next thing you want to do is to connect this together. So the easiest way to go about this is just to put the cursor here and drag it to the next one. You put the cursor at the end of one component and drag it to the end of the other component, and the wires will be created. Another way to go about it is to use this particular narrow wire. If you click on that narrow wire, you will see that you'll be able to join them together that way. Click on this, you drag it, you click on the second one, then the wire will be created. So you click on this, then you click on this second one. You click on the first red, that's the red end, and the other red end. Just click on it. So click on this, then click on this one. So the wire will be joined. So click on this and click on this to be joined together. So that's where we have created our circuits. Now that we have our circuit, also this VDD, or it needs to have its own voltage. And since we need to, so if you want to go out of the wire, you can see the wire is still active. So because of the way the cursor looks, so just click on escape from your keyboard, then you go out of it. Let's say we want to duplicate this particular guy, so we can duplicate this. Probably we need this particular component. We want to duplicate it, just click on this and click on this particular copy. So a copy of it will be, just click on it, a copy of it will be generated. So that's how you go about this. And also this VDD, you want to create a value for this VDD. So let's say you have this, you can create a copy for it so that it can also have its own, value. So like this ground, now we need it, so you just create a copy of it, then click on it. So you can join this together. This can be joined to this. Just click on this and drag it, and that's where you are able to create a connection. So whatever value this one has now is now connected to this. So these are this now, they are now, so this is now acting as a voltage source here at this point, because this needs to have a value, and that value can only be assigned through this particular component VDC. So now let's say we want to give this particular guy a value. So what value? Let's say we want to give it 3 volts. Once you click on this, the properties of this component is going to appear here. And if for instance you want to see it in the bigger picture, just click on Q. So Q will enable you to see the big picture, and you can give it value, the DC voltage value, and the value, let's say we are giving it 3. If you click outside, then you see that the 3 will appear as 3 volts. Then you can now assign, you can now click on enter. Did I click on enter, or you drag this down a bit and move it up and click on apply, then okay. So it has been given a value. Also, let's say we want to give this particular one a value, so we can come here to change the value here. Like let's say we want to give it 100 ohm, so that's the value we want to give it, so it's 100 ohm. You can see, so we can either do the modification at this point or do the modification here. Also, we should not forget this is an NMOS. This particular point needs to be connected to the ground for NMOS. If it is PMOS, it has to be connected to VDD. So you need to make sure it's connected to the ground. So is the ground. So the next thing we want to make sure we have is that this one is also given a value. So you can come here to give it the value 3 volts. Just type the 3 there, and that's it. So it appears there. So let's say we have completed our circuit design, and we want to launch this circuit. We want to see how it performs. So what we do is we to launch this here at this point. Just click on ADEL. ADEL is the a launch pad for this circuit. So now we want to launch it. The first thing we want to do is to carry out DC analysis. So there are different analysis that we can carry out here. We have the kind of analysis, we have the transient analysis, we have DC analysis, AC analysis, noise analysis. You can see there's several analysis there. So let's say we want to carry out DC analysis, which is the first one we usually carry out to be able to know how the voltage and current are distributed around the circuits. So we click on OK. So once you click on DC, save DC operating point, you click on this. Then you also click on OK, and that's it. So you see the DC analysis appeared here. Now you want to advance it, you need to click on this. So you need to netlist and run. So you run this simulation from this particular point. So you click on this. So when you run this, if it is successful, you will know. If it's not successful, you come back and you will see it here. It's saying all successful. And if it is unsuccessful, it means something is wrong somewhere. So we need to check where the issue is coming from. So to check where the issue is coming from, we can use this and try to see where the issue is coming from. So if you look at this very well, end listing error generation failed because error supported above. So the might not have been generated. So do not get license. So for the analog environment, so it means there is no license. If there is no license, there is nothing we can do about that. So that means there is an issue with the license. Yeah, so if there is no license, we're not able to run this. Okay, so that means we have to go and ensure we have a license for this. Yeah, okay, so that is the issue we'll be encountering at this point in time for this. So let's see how we can resolve the issue. I'll come back later.